What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Be the Trader. I want to share with you a little bit about how things have been going and a little bit about different topics and things to look forward to with the show. Now, the first thing is it's been really slow. I mean, if you've been trading for these past couple of months, it's September 8th as I'm recording, and it's been really slow. And this is in the stocks that I trade, right? A lot of the moves I like to trade are overextension plays, gap and crap setups that are running quite a bit, and we haven't really had those lately. And that's kind of normal, right? I mean, not normal in the sense where we're so used to all of these runners, everything's going up 100 to 500% every day. Multiple, even so at that, in one day we have like 3 or 4 runners that are up 400%, which is wild. However, there is a time where things slow down, and things have slowed down dramatically, and right now it's hitting us. And what's really interesting for me is, a year ago it was hard, for me to go through these times, because I would find myself reaching, right? I was reaching for something to trade. I was reaching for something that wasn't really there. I call them mirages. When you're walking in a desert and you're thirsty and you're dehydrated, you start to see mirages, right? Well, when you're in the stock market and you're trading and things are hot, everything's moving, you could trade every day, and then all of a sudden there isn't a setup for, once maybe throughout the week, then your mind can start to play games with you, because maybe you start shifting towards greed or fear or FOMO, like you don't want to miss the next big runner. And I used to slip in that a lot. When things slowed down, I ended up doing worse. And this time it has not been that way, which is really nice to see. In fact, it's been steadily profitable still, and it's growth in myself that I'm acknowledging. I'm very proud and excited and thankful that I've been able to grow through this, right? And because like a year ago from today, I'm sure that it was not this way. I remember when it was slowing down, I would see something, to put it in perspective, let's say my setup is something that's overextension, right? Maybe 2-3 days up 100+%, and I want to short when it goes red for the first day, right? It's a common pattern. Everyone knows about it. It's nothing new, right? And that's the other thing about patterns. None of these patterns are new. So when someone says, hey, I have this new pattern, none of these patterns are new. These are all the same patterns. Now, occasionally you will have some that cycle in and cycle out, of course. But the majority of these patterns have always been there. It's human psychology. That's the reason these patterns exist, because of fear and greed. Well, so going back to, if it's overextended and it's gapping down, maybe when the market's hot, these plays are 3 days overextension, and they're generally maybe 150%, 200% up, and then they go red for the first time. And I mean that first time, not it's been red before, this is the first time it goes red, and it works. But then when the market slows down and you don't have any plays, you see a play that's up, maybe 80%. And it's maybe up on 2-3 days. And then you're like, ooh, it looks beautiful, because you haven't seen anything like this in a while. It's been weeks, and you trade it. And maybe it's never gone red before, and it has finally decided to go red. Those are the ones that I call mirages, because taking 3-4 days to go up 80%, like that's not very volatile at all. Even 100% is kind of a stretch if you think about it. So I would trade these, and then I would get frustrated because I would start losing on them and be like, what's going on? And then I would continue to do so and then lose my confidence along the way. And then through that, I would just say, you know what? God, I just need to downsize completely. So I'll downsize dramatically. And then all of a sudden, right when I do that, what happens? I decide to stick to my plan, stick to only my setups, and be strategic. And I recognize, oh my gosh, I was losing because I was not shorting these when they were optimal. I was shorting these because they were mirages. They were fooling me. They were not the setup. And so because of that, I would take a trade and it wouldn't be the actual setup itself. Now, with that being said, I would also find myself discovering that problem, like discovering like, oh, this is why it didn't work way later. Like it would be too late, like at the end of a losing streak. And at that point, it's too late. Like I need to discover it sooner. And what happens after that moment, when I decide to size down, decide to be more strict, the market catches on fire. And the market comes back and my patterns come back and I start to trade very well, but very small. And then I make back everything I lost in much smaller size. And then the cycle kind of goes back full circle. Now it's dry again. There's not many plays. And then the mirage happens. And then I lose more. And then you can see the cycle, right? That is what I'm talking about. When right now we're in a dry cycle for my type of setups. Now, some of you guys are probably listening to this and saying, man, it's been a hot market for me. I'm killing it. And that's great. You know, everyone trades differently. If there's one thing I've been learning, and if you've been following the show, you know that I have a strong opinion against scalpers and other types of traders. But, you know, I've also learned that I've been wrong. You know, I'm starting to realize that everyone has, and I've said this before, everyone has their own way of trading. And I want to say this now, that scalping is its own way, and some people like it and I just don't. And now what I can say is there's so many ways to trade. There's so many different setups where you might be in a time where things are hot, but you also may be entering a time where things are slowing down. And that is where I want to tell you, when things slow down, I get more selective. In fact, last week, I think I only traded 3 trades the whole week. And I know a couple of people who trade similar setups that I trade, and they only trade 1 trade for that whole week. And some didn't trade at all. And that showed me that this is how things are right now. Like the market's slowing down. And I'm profitable still. Like that is important. Having profitable weeks during slow weeks is very important. And you hear that saying of people saying like, it's easy to make money, it's hard to keep it. You always hear that, right? And then when you listen to the market wizards or any type of interview who like with interviews with traders who've been here for decades, right? The big time traders, they say that, you know, their goal at some point, one way or another, they end up saying that they just want to be able to make enough money for when the times slow down and get rough, and then minimize the losses so until the time comes back where things are hot. The cycle. It's the cycles. And that, saying it out loud, really helps me acknowledge that we're just in a cycle right now. We're in a time where things are slow. And this is a time where things need to be focused. Like the slower we are, the more focused I need to be and the more picky I need to be. And it also means it's going to test my ability to take losses in spurts, right? Like I may only trade once this entire week. And if that one trade is a loss, its new challenge is more so of, it's going to show me how much, or how much have I grown to accept this risk, this loss, and be okay with it. Because if I'm not okay with it, and I trade again, right? And I trade again after the fact, because I took a loss and it was the only trade in the week, and then it gets in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, there hasn't been any trades. And then all of a sudden, I carry that with me. What's going to happen is I'm going to revenge trade. I'm going to start being a little bit more loose with my focus and trading everything that's moving. And then I'll end up being back where I was over a year ago, and I don't want to do that. And so now I'm even seeing more clearly that these are the times for me to be more focused, for me to show myself that I am a consistently profitable trader even during the slow times. And not only that, but it's something that is definitely challenging for people who maybe trade like me, where When the market's high, you might trading every day, maybe 2-3 stocks a day. And then when the market's slow, you might trade once a week. When you go through that process, at least for me, when I'm going through that process, it's interesting because if I take a loss, yes, it does bother me. It definitely bothers me sometimes still, where I'm just like, I don't want to lose, but I'm also willing to accept it. And I'm excited to look forward to the rest of this week and upcoming weeks of slow weeks, because my challenge with myself is accept these losses. If it's just one throughout the whole week, okay. There's one trade, it's one loss, okay, no big deal. And big picture, right? Long-term point of view, I've been here before. I've been trading for 3.5, 4 years, and I've seen this over and over, where things are slow, and then things pick up. And then when things pick up, I want to be there ready to go. So if I trade once a week, and every time once a week for one whole month, they're all losses, that's 4 losses for the whole month. That is very, very, very manageable for me to move forward when it's a hot month and I'm placing maybe 8, 9, 10 trades a week, and it's been profitable every week. It's just gonna blow it out the water. And the other picture of it, it could always flip the other way. What if one trade a week and it's just 3-yard gains every week? Like, it's all about the long-term game, and I'm trying to keep that in front of me. Remember, like last week, I only had 3 trades, and 2 were winners and one was a loss. And at the end of the day, it made me a profitable week. And this week is new, so we'll see what happens. But that's something I want to acknowledge, because as a trader, when I'm growing through this, it's taking me a long time to find my consistency. And it's so easy to lose your consistency. It really is. Like it's because the only thing that makes us consistent is our process and our discipline to stick through that. That's it. The moment I break that, I will become an inconsistent profitable trader, right? I won't be profitable, is what I'm trying to say. And that is humbling, because it's not me. Like, I'm not better than anyone else. I'm not a better trader, like a better person to be a trader. I just follow this plan, follow my discipline, and it all pans out. Now, one thing I also wanted to bring up is level 2. And I'm going to briefly go through this because a lot of people have been asking this question. I definitely want to answer it. Do I use level 2 to trade? Yes, I do. Do I use time and sales? Absolutely. When do I use it? I use it at key levels, support and resistance. And what am I looking for? Slow down on the tape, and I'm looking for stacking action. But is it my ultimate decision maker? No. As you heard me say at the beginning, I'm looking for support and resistance before I look for level 2 in time and sales. Combine those together, you have a good indication that you should be entering your stock. Now, on the next episode or in a future one, I will go into more detail just about support and resistance, level 2, tape, time and sales, but I've already taken up a lot of your time today. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you're all trading well. And if you're not, don't worry, you might just be chasing mirages. So make sure you refocus, focus up, size down, because the whole goal is to stay alive during the slow time, so when the hot market comes, you can be in the money again. So thanks so much, and keep in mind, focus on the process over the profits, because the process will get you going. And everyone else out there, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being part of the show. And don't forget, if you're looking for a great broker that has great shorts for borrowing, Cobra Trader, I'm partnering with them. Let them know I sent you their way. They'll give you a great discount that I have. And not only that, but check me out on YouTube. Thanks again, guys. Take care.